Can you understand what I'm saying? Can you? I like to ask because I find that people most often won't tell me. And I realize that some of you are going to be uncomfortable by sitting and watching someone so vastly different from you. And you might find yourself wanting to chuckle or laugh. Do so. It's quite natural. I tell you really this in preparation, because I might look at one of you one day in the street and start to laugh also. Now I want to tell you a story because I'm getting married in 2 weeks to a wonderful woman. I met her at the old folks' home. I worked there. They tend to put people like me to work there so that the old folks won't feel so bad about dying. Now I met her because she was staring at me. And let's face it, I'm a very stare-at-able person. But she was staring in a different way. And one day she came up to me and she said, "Hey." And I turned to her and I said, "Well, it's about time. Hey." And she says, "I don't know if you noticed, but I've been staring at you." And I said, "Yes, I'm physically disabled, not blind." And she says, "Well, I've been trying to work out how to come and ask you because I'm going dancing next week, and I wondered if you wanted to come with me." And I said, "Well, that's very kind, but no thank you." And she said, "Well, why not?" And I said, "Look, do you notice anything here? This is not exactly a disco body." And then she said, "Well, why not?" And I couldn't think of an answer. So I turned to her and I said, "What time you picking me up?" And she did. The next week she picked me up and we went dancing. And I was bopping about the place and I was moving and I had a great time. I fell over a couple of times, but it made it look like it was part of the dance that I was doing, so it was okay. And I had a brilliant time, and I met some great people. But then later that evening, we were sat on a park bench, just outside of the club. And then she turned to me and she said, "Come on, tell me. Is your disability hard on you?" And I said, "No. It's not hard on me. It's hard on everybody else around me. But for me, my mind is active, and I dream a lot." And she said, "Well, what do you dream?" And I said, "I dream that mostly my hip is straightened. I dream that my shoulder is lowered. I dream that my arm, my forearm, my wrists and my fingers are able to move. And I dream that my neck is straightened." And this sorts out my vocal cords. I dream that I can wave to 2 people going into 2 opposite directions at the same time. And I dream that I can conduct an orchestra. And I also dream that I'm one of the boys from West Side Story. But most of all, I dream that people see me as a person and not as a broken object. Then I wake up, and I'm me. And it's okay. Because I like me. I'm a good person. And that's okay. And she turned to me and she said, "You're amazing. Marry me." And I said yes. So hey, if you're around, why don't you come down and check out the wedding? Because it's going to be one hell of a disco.